it feels great for me. Although today is the official day that I'm coming publicly here in front of press and talking about Oriflame, I've actually been with them since April, and I got to meet colleagues of Oriflame from all over India, and that was a very personal and exceptional experience where I really got to see how the women of all the small towns in India are so involved with this company. So my first thing about Oriflame was just watching women become entrepreneurs, women who are, at home, become their own entrepreneurs and going out and working for Oriflame. I find that really, really inspirational. And the second reason, of course, is, making this beautiful change, seeing a brand which looks to the future, where I think we live in a society today where we are technologically advanced enough to take care of each other and our environment, but we haven't reached the stage where we're using it responsibly. We have the technology, but a lot of companies are not using that technology responsibly, and I find it really forward-thinking of Oriflame to already be thinking about, getting rid of plastic beads and things like that, where you are taking care of your environment as well as the people in your company. So very, very glad to be part of this.
Thank you. That was beautifully explained by Kalki. I think it's very, very important in today's time to actually be the change, not just a change in a generic way, but yes, to do something better for the earth, and that's exactly what Oriflame believes in, and you as a wonderful talent here believes in that too. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Naveen Anand, the new Senior Director Regional Marketing, Oriflame, who has recently taken over the mantle. So now, my question for Mr. Anand will be the same. How does it feel to be in Oriflame family?
Very, very excited to be here. With 2 decades in direct selling, and I've been in India, and last 4 years I was in US, worked on many markets, but it's a great feeling to be here back in India and with Oriflame, a company which has had 50 years of history, a company which has big belief in safe products, a company which has big belief in science and R&D, but I think above that, a company which has a heart, a company which empowers women, and a company which does not only talk, but walks the talk when it comes to sustainability. I couldn't be more proud. Very happy to be here. Thank you for having me here.
Fantastic. Now I request Kalki and Adigu to please take their seats here on the dais. All right, well, I'm sure you've understood what's going to happen now. Well, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this was a beautiful glimpse into the world of change which you just experienced. But now the session is open to the question that you have in your mind. So any queries about anything, you may go ahead and ask. I now open the floor for the question and the answers with the esteemed guests here, and would also like to invite Ms. Shikha Duggal to please join us here for this session. Welcome to you, ma'am. So please go ahead and ask your questions. You can raise your hands and the mic. Yes, all right. Towards my right, right towards the end.
Hello. Good afternoon. Congratulations, Kalki. I'd like to know that what is the secret of your inner beauty and outer beauty?
Wow. Well, the secret of my outer beauty is not very secret. It's my parents. I think my parents are responsible for my beauty. But the secret of my inner beauty, I think, is that you have to constantly keep changing. You have to keep evolving. And when you do that, when you work on yourself and you accept yourself and the changes that are happening to you, both in your body and in your emotions and in your mind, you keep evolving, and I think that makes for beautiful people.
Beautiful.
Going to be towards a brand as well as in a social way also, actually.
So, I mean, I think one of the reasons I'm with Oriflame is because I myself have grown up in a very sort of sustainable environment. I grew up in Pondicherry in Oroville, which is a very sustainable community, which believes in organic, growth, giving back to the land. employing local people. It's, of course, women and education of the girl child has always been on top of my list. And all of these ethics, I think, are very much part of Oriflame as a brand. You know, there are lots of things that we are constantly trying to do in our own lives to be a little more like environmentally conscious. But when you have a brand like this, you know, you're working on a much bigger scale, because Oriflame has about 3 million people around the world working for them and through them. And you know, it just spreads in a much more vast scale than what I do at home. For example, at home, I'm now working on separating my bins, you know, separating wastes, plastic and dry waste and wet waste. But these are very small things that all of us can do. But then there are, you know, brands themselves. When they come on board, you're spreading out to a much vaster audience.
Kalki, if you would like to change a beautiful change in Bollywood industry where you come from, what would be that change actually?
Very good question.
A beautiful change in Bollywood. I think it's actually already started happening, but I think writing should have a lot more priority, because content is what is king nowadays, especially with the content that web has started bringing in. So I think that we should honor our writers, give them a lot of importance, because good writers are what make good movies.
Wow. So I'm sure you would have loads of questions. Please go ahead. This is the moment. You wouldn't get this opportunity again. There, on my left, yes. Can we have the mic there? All right.
Hi. So let me just begin. Congratulations on the 50 years. And Kalki, I'm a huge fan of yours. I think you're extremely thoughtful about everything you take on. And I really love that about you. Now, one thing that I have heard throughout the presentations was women empowerment, how Oriflame is supporting women empowerment. I want to know what is the most essential, what do you feel is the most essential to empowering women?
Oh, wow. What's the most essential thing? I think it's, you know, I think right now it's about what we as women, the confidence that we need to have. I think all of us are living in a society now where we have education, we have jobs for women, but there's still a sort of confidence lacking. Like, I know a lot of women who feel the pressure to get married still, or, you know, once they get married, that maybe they should stop working for a while. And this is also because of certain laws and things that are still patriarchal. For example, we have maternity leave, but we don't have paternity leave in the same equal way. So I feel that domestic responsibility needs to be shared out more at home in order for it to work in the office environment too. You can't have women being empowered in the office but not at home. So I think that balance is our big challenge in today's time.
I'm in complete agreement. Thank you.
If you don't mind, I can add on this question.
Sure.
We have a community of Swedish companies in India, and quite often we have equality as a discussion point, because this is a very sound subject for European companies and for European culture. And here we try to behave the same way. And when you ask this question to Kalki, I was thinking, how would I answer this question? And I would add that I think respect is actually a good word. We need to respect women as an equal part of the society. We are not the same, men and women. I mean, God's created us different, but we have the same rights and we have the same opportunities. And this is what we try to embrace, that everyone have an equal opportunity to participate in the social life, in the business life, etc., etc. But the choice, of course, always back to people. but the society should treat equally and respect equally men and women. This would be a kind of our standpoint for the women empowerment.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, congrats on completing 50 years. This is Roshni from Best Media Info. My question is for either Ms. Dugal or Mr. Anand, whoever. With hashtag Beautiful Change, the new campaign that you guys are launching, will there be a mass media campaign which will follow on? And how well and how far have you been using digital to really promote? Because Oriflame is not a really retail strong brand. It's more direct sales. So how big part does digital play in your marketing?
I think, thank you for asking us this question. Digital comes across as a big opportunity for us. And through this campaign, I think we're very proud to first to introduce it to you. In fact, you're the one sitting out here. In fact, globally, India is the first market to introduce this campaign, and we really feel proud to do that. The bigger leg of this campaign would definitely run on digital. This is not just a campaign for a month or so. It's what the brand believes in and what the brand wants to promote. It's all about basically collecting people and their stories from all across the globe to create this change, to create this momentum. And there is nothing better than digital that will play on this.
And should we expect a mass media campaign, or that's not our...
Well, we are working more on digital to this because we are digitally connected definitely across the globe.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Rini, and I first of all want to congratulate you for so many years of women empowerment. A little, example of that is 15 years ago, I think about more than 15 years ago, my mum had started selling these from her house, and she was just a homemaker then. We were in school, and that gave her a lot of confidence to actually start her own business in textiles later. So thank you so much for giving opportunities to women in smaller towns of India to do something which no one had thought of at that decade. And now my question to Kalki is, Kalki, you're like this, this vision of a strong woman who always does what she feels is right. Nowadays, a lot of young girls and women have these unreal expectations or benchmarks of beauty, and they want to look the certain way or be a certain way to kind of get this false gratification from people, other people, and not from within. What would be your message to those young girls who look up to you?
I think that, beauty is such a vast thing, and we tend to look at beauty from a very commercial angle, and I would just say that uniqueness is another kind of beauty, and what you stand out in is what makes you beautiful. I mean, I have always been told I'm the unconventional actor and this and that, and I've embraced that unconventionalness because it is who I am, and that's actually why I am sitting here today and choosing a brand like Oriflame, and they're choosing me. So there is a place for beauty which is not necessarily just the exterior idea of beauty, and it's up to you to hone that personality,
Thank you so much.
So any more questions here? So we've got loads of questions coming in here. All right, on my left, right here, who's seated, and the gentleman who had already asked a question, he wants to ask more questions.
Hi, congratulations. I'm Gurbir from Salon International. My question is to the gentleman on... Yeah, hi. I wanted to ask you, you're a direct retail sales company. How many partners do you have currently, and what is the expansion plan there? And are you looking at the B2B angle differently, putting up at shops or going... What is your expansion plan, basically?
Yes, I guess this is question to me.
Yeah.
Well, we cannot, we are actually a public company, and our shares are traded in the Stockholm Stock Exchange, and therefore we have limitation to what extent we can reveal numbers for each particular market. But what I can say that India is one of our five strategic focus markets where we as a company have a special attention and have a very high expectation. We actually have more than 20 places where we present ourselves, but this place is not B2B. It's actually, it's more service centers for our partners. And we have 2 factories already in India, and we are very, very positive into our outlook for the future of Oriflame in India. Going to your question to the beginning, are we going to do retailing or B2B? The answer would be not, because we in Oriflame, we are actual direct selling company. We are selling through personal recommendation. And going back to the couple of questions which sounded today, we are a very social company because of, for us, connection and trust from people to people is actually a foundation of our industry. I mean, people buying our products through friends, through recommendations, through referrals. And therefore, we give them an opportunity to build their own networks. It's actually kind of franchisee model for individual people. Therefore, we have no plans to go retail because of people who are our partners. They build their business and build their future, which they can pass this business to their children as well, on the principle of a personal recommendation, personal referral, and therefore this is the foundation of our business.
We will...
Hi, question. Hi, I have a माँ के कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें जो आपको ब्यूटी के लिए आप प्रयोग करती थी और अभी आप फिल्मों में कब आने वाली हैं, वो टिप्स बताइए और फिल्मों में कब आने वाली हैं?
मेरी मम्मी एक बहुत ही अच्छी सीक्रेट मुझे दिया, which is coconut oil, pure organic cold pressed coconut oil, जो अभी भी मैं बहुत यूज़ करती हूँ, खाना में डालती हूँ, बाल में डालती हूँ, फेस में डालती हूँ, so I live by coconut oil. और दूसरी फिल्मों
new projects.
अच्छा फिल्मों I have 2 films releasing very soon. End of October, I have a film called Gia, जो मैं और Richa Chadda ने किया. It's a girls' road trip through Sweden.
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. It was a very good connection.
So fantastic. We should have gotten in touch with Oriflame when we needed money to make the film, but never mind. And the second film is an independent film by a new director called Rakhi Sandilya, and it's called Ribbon. And that's releasing in November.
Just one.
Ms. Dugal, as Kalki spoke about coconut, and we saw in the slide like we were talking about Kerala actually, where you get the natural resources. So do you have plans where in India there are lots of places where you have the natural resources and you try to get associated with that particular state and trying, to bring an empowerment there actually?
Definitely, I think our R&D team is continuously working on these for years, and this was just one place that they've identified in India through Fair Trade, and it's called Fair Trade Alliance Kerala. But needless to say, I think for us as a brand, what is more important? One is using the best of the ingredients in our products, and secondly, sourcing it from credible sources is what makes us important. So there is no limit to it, that whether we source it from other places in India. Definitely, I mean, if that is an opportunity that comes in, it will happen.
At the same time, we have a pretty strong control and restrictions of what we are doing. Our people who are doing product development, they really control the product ingredient chain from the beginning to the end. For example, we will not deal with the companies who would use child labor, for example, who would do unethical behavior towards nature. So it's not only one example. This is a totality of our approach to the product sourcing and raw material sourcing.
Thank you. Now, I think
Kalki?
we'll have to. We're just running a bit short of time. So
hi, Kalki. I have a question for you, actually. Back here on your... Yeah, hi. Okay. This is a little different. This is a little offbeat, of course. We are talking about beautiful change, but unfortunately, a little boy in Gurugram, lost his life in school. That raises the question of children being secure in schools. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm afraid I'm not here to discuss other news.
Thank you.
You know, we can have an interview later about those things.
Anything with the brand, yeah, sure. Okay, I think we are running a bit short of time. So thank you, Kalki. Thank you to our dignitaries. And it was a wonderful day here. Can we have a big hand once again for this very momentous day here? Thank you once again. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today this afternoon.